Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes Report for the past 24 hours. A lot of frontline changes as usual. And so there is frontline changes over at Krasno-Oktyabrsk in the Kursk front. The western flank, there's some major updates. Uspenovka, a northern flank, and then there is frontline changes at Borodki. And then we jumped all the way to Novo Svatove over at the Pischany front. Toretsk, Acanel in the New York front, Ukraine's Hrodivka. Oops, I actually rearranged it wrongly. Ukraine should be later than Hrodivka. There's a lot of Hrodivka update, major updates, and Paraskovievka over at the Donetsk front. So we jump all the way to the Kursk front first, over at the Ukrainians' counter offensive at the Glushkovo region. Glushkovo sector. Let me adjust the. Okay. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces on the northeast of Krasno-Oktyabrsk confirmed Ukrainian incursion over into the Krasno-Oktyabrsk part of the Glushkovo front. And this is, predictable because the Ukrainians were attacking Krasno-Oktyabrsk. So this is the case. We still actually have not have any information that the Ukrainians captured this small little village. So which is kind of a surprise given that it's actually a pretty small village that the Ukrainians still did not capture. So like this not really much. So not sure what happening. But anyway, we shall continue to report on this. The next frontline change is over at the western flank. So based on one geolocation by Criminal Caprice showing the Ukrainians using the Dragon drone to attack Russian positions over in the forest, confirmed that the Russians have firm defensive position around here. This invalidates a lot of the grounds because of the way how the geography works around this area. So and because of the Russian claim of the capture of Uspenivka, and with combination of this geolocation, I've made a judgment call that this entire area is now confirmed to be captured by the Russian forces, and these include Blakovo, Viktorovka, and Gordievka. So the Russian forces made all the advances around here, corroborating all the information that the Russians have actually taken all these grounds. So this is the frontline changes over on the western flank of the Kursk front. So if I zoom out a bit, you probably can see better. So this is the Snagos, and then you can see the Russian advance around this area here, including Uspenovka. So this is the capture. So it's significant, but it doesn't change anything strategically speaking. So this is not a very significant strategic change because the fighting is already reported around this area here, and the Ukrainians' firm line around here doesn't really change at all. This is still a firm Ukrainian line, defensive line over on the western flank of the Kursk front. So after the Uspenovka western flank region, over in the northern flank, there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces in the forest, confirming a further presence of Ukrainian positions within this countryside of the region. This is, however, of course, not very significant per se, because this is already part of what we already understood might be the case. The problem is actually the further northern part are the Ukrainians there. So the southern part, nearer to where main of the front line is, where most of the fighting and bombardments are predictable. So the last frontline change over in the Kursk region is at Borodki. So this is based on Russian claims. This is not a capture. So based on Russian mapping, they have claimed that the Russian forces have taken Borodki based on their latest mapping. So this is the supposed capture by the Russian forces, but this is not corroborated just yet, as the fighting is now moving towards Blakovo. So, but there is some rumors about the Russians capturing Blakovo. This is, of course, inaccurate. Can't possibly be the case. Not so fast. So that's it for this for the Kursk front. Over at Novo Svatove, over at the Pischany front, Russian forces has been geolocated on a new position, confirming Russian advances around in the southwestern part of Novo Svatove, which is over here. So that's about it. This movement would allow the Russian forces to attack into the village of Stemakivka, which is over here. So this Stemakivka, Russian forces have most of Stemakivka already. But the Russians now is going on another attack from the north, and they will actually be able to close up this area here in the near future. So that's all from Novo Svatove. Moving into Toretsk. So at the New York front at Toretsk, there is new geolocation of Russian forces, this time round continuing where they left off and expanding the control over in the suburb near the prison. So this advance continue. So that's about it. Not extremely significant. The progress is super slow. So which suggests a strong Ukrainian resistance in the region. So that's all for Toretsk. After Toretsk, we have frontline changes over at Acanel. Acanel is in the former northern flank of the Hrodivka front, now is on the in the New York front. So Russian forces geolocated in a new position in north of Acanel, confirming some Russian progress in this area here. But unlikely that the Russians will continue to push towards Kalinove, given the fact that this is heavily fortified region. So I don't think the Russians will push up. So they are geolocated around this water body, so it's not particularly significant per se, as there are still possible Ukrainian entrenchment in the north. So that's about it from this area here. So and then we continue on over at Hrodivka. So Hrodivka is the biggest news over the past 24 hours. Russian forces have been geolocated inside Hrodivka in two separate locations. And based on the latest Ukrainian mapping, they have considered that most of Hrodivka is now under Russian control. So this area here is my original mapping based on this northern geolocation, and then the southern geolocation confirm Russian capture and invalidation of Ukrainian claims over on the southern part. Then the Ukrainian mapping, Deep State UA's mapping came out, and they actually claimed that the Russians have taken most of Hrodivka. So this is actually very significant development, because this means that the Russians is on the verge of full capture of Hrodivka, and this would mean that the Russians complete the capture of the original first boss, and which meant that they will be able to continue the assault down the road and going towards Minograd, which is the second boss at the Pokrov front. So Minograd is over here, which is a much bigger city. So the Russian forces have made advances in Hrodivka, so it will be another attack northward, and we'll see how the Russians decided to play this game. Either they hit Mykolaiv or they hit Mykolaiv. So so we shall see how this continue to develop. But yeah, so that's the frontline change over at Hrodivka. This is a massive change, massive update. After Hrodivka, the next frontline change will go south into Ukraine. So the latest updates are that there are 3 different geolocations confirming Russian presence in most of Ukraine right now. This basically almost marked the end of Ukraine, and based on the Ukrainian mapping, they have added more grounds that the Russians have taken, including 1/3 of this high ground, or this dump, earth dump or something. So, and as such, Ukraine is on the verge of a confirmation of capture. So this is a major development, as well as the confirmation of the capture of Ukraine will allow the Russians on a firm attack towards Sukhirine, and continue to progress in this area here. And the last frontline change is over at Paraskoviyevka. Over in the northern part of Konstantinivka, geolocation of Russian forces in the north of Konstantinivka confirm Russians continue to consolidate their positions in the north of Paraskoviyevka. So almost complete the full capture of the 00532 road north of Konstantinivka, moving towards Marinka. So this is of course predictable, but very slow. I expected this to be captured way earlier, but it is what it is. The Ukrainians probably put up a very strong defense around here, and continue to deter Russian aggressions. So that's it. So as you can see, this leads to Marinka. So anyway, that's it. These are the frontline changes report for the past 24 hours. Do press the like button, subscribe. Check out the DPA news channel. We publish the latest, the breaking news from around 12 hours ago on this mysterious pager explosions across Lebanon. The latest number I saw was 4,000 people getting injured. Although another piece of news says that only 3,000 over pagers was actually ordered by Hezbollah. So maybe the number is wrong. I also did see a tweet that invalidates the 4,000 claim. So the firm number now, at least 2,500 people has been injured. And the last number I saw was 11 deaths. Most likely by now, at this moment, should be more because I went to sleep. So we shall see anyway how it goes. I will update the news later on the DPA news channel. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update.